Okay, so yes, I was one of the hundreds, thousands, millions maybe nerds who went to see the Avengers midnight Thursday. Literally could not wait. I did not want to risk seeing another trailer that possibly ruined something, or reading something, or hearing someone talk about the movie that would have ruined it for me. So I completely understand if right now you are already turning this off because you don't want it to be ruined for you. I'm going to try not to do that for you, but you've been warned. Avengers was awesome. It arguably is the best superhero movie ever done. Uh, it's amazing. All the doubts and fears and everything that's always been talked about an Avengers movie or Justice League, and they were all squashed. Now, I will admit, to me, DC's Justice League is probably going to be a much bigger thing because those characters are really iconic. Batman and Superman are, I know this might start a debate, are bigger than Iron Man and Captain America. They just are. I mean, it just is. Before the Iron Man movie, Iron Man got bigger since that movie. Captain America was always big, but it really has kind of gone by the wayside. It seems like he's still a major Marvel thing, but to me, Marvel really has become the X Men and Spider Man and all those things. Which, I mean, the Avengers is just kind of a funny thing for those who don't know. It's kind of a group that encompasses everybody. Everyone at one time or another in the Marvel universe seemed to join the Avengers. So who do we have? They did a great campaign with Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. talking to Loki and does a little head count of who's there. You got the Hulk, Bruce Banner. For the third time, we have a different actor, which I'm going to get into. Mark Ruffalo did a pretty good job. You have Hawkeye. You have Scarlett Johansson playing Black Widow. You got Downey Jr. returning as Iron Man. You have Chris Evans taking over, or not taking over, being returning as Captain America. He was the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four films, which I'm sure will not exist in this Marvel universe. And then we got Thor coming back too. First, who was I most impressed with? I was most impressed with the Hulk. The Hulk is absolutely, this is what we've always wanted. I don't know if they can do a movie with him. I just don't know if that's why it did so well, was that he wasn't the main character. It wasn't all about him losing control. But it still was. I mean, they it's amazing how much they focused on all these different characters in the short time, and then it didn't feel like the movie was ever dragging. But the Hulk was amazing, funny, did everything you wanted to be. Captain America really proved he was the leader, which that was a concern. Could Chris Evans really convince everyone that he was leading this group over Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man? Iron Man is the perfect comic relief. He's just kind of there. Everything that was great about the first two movies was still there. Hawkeye, you know what? He's there. He's fine. He's just like kind of right now. He's just a souped-up Shield agent. That's kind of all he is. He's the one guy who didn't really get a lot of backstory that we don't know about. His story just kind of goes along with Black Widow's, which we did get a lot of story on her, which was kind of interesting. It's probably very, I mean, it all, with Josh Whedon being the director, and he's from Buffy and Firefly and Dollhouse, he likes female characters. He makes them vulnerable yet strong and all that. It sure seemed like they're building up to a movie about her, which, you know what, I thought would be really cool, except I don't, it'd be kind of a movie that doesn't really fit into the comic book world. She has really interesting stories, but they're usually, she's kind of a sidekick. She's, I mean, not that she is, but story wise, she doesn't have any arch enemies. She's always teaming up with Iron Man, Daredevil, Hawkeye, Shield, those kind of things. She at one time was actually the head of the Avengers. She's just kind of that. I don't know who she's taking on, but that was very good. Thor, Loki, the big bad, everything was very good. I definitely recommend the movie. I thought it was awesome. I really do. Um, yeah, I mean there are hilarious scenes during the fighting, and this is where spoiler. If you don't want to learn anything, turn this off. I think the funniest scene was when Hulk takes down one of the big flying menaces, and then him and Thor both help, and then he just punches Thor. Thor goes flying off screen, and it's everyone in the theater was laughing. It was hilarious. I mean, Hulk losing it on Shield battle carrier, Black Widow running for her life, and then literally being physically like affected. She is in a corner shaking after Hulk attack. I mean, Iron Man and, and Captain America going at it back and forth, and then working together. It was just awesome. Very, very disappointed that they killed Agent Coulson. I am. You know what? He's the one thing besides Samuel L. Jackson. He showed up and you knew Shield was there. And I kind of wonder if is that going to be Hawkeye's role now? Is it going to be Colby Smuthers, who's Agent Hill? Are we just going to keep seeing more Samuel L. Jackson? Or is this going to be kind of how they keep everyone together? Because supposedly they signed Mark Ruffalo to a six movie deal to make cameos movies no one knows for being the Hulk. Maybe they're just going to keep these guys making little cameos. Maybe show up in a 10-minute scene. And that's how they're going to keep this universe going and try to get away from S.H.I.E.L.D. being the big bad. And not the big bad, but you know, they even covered that great, that Fury always has an ulterior motive, and that S.H.I.E.L.D. is always working on a backup plan or a third plan, and they can't always be trusted. So I think it was great. I think it captured so much of the comic books, brought it to the big screen, did it so well. I can't wait to see what it was. Thanos, who was the guy at the end, leading up to Avengers 2, is leading up to Thor 2, or is that going to be everything? Maybe the Infinity Gauntlet and the stones are going to be all leading up. Maybe he's going to get the gauntlet back from Asgard, and then he's going to collect the stones. And maybe that's what Iron Man 2 and Captain America, or Iron Man 3 and Captain America 2 are going to be about. It's going to be kind of interesting. I'm not sure, but obviously Marvel had an idea. I know Josh Whedon said that he wanted Thanos in there. He thought it was perfect for him to be the big bad behind the scenes. And yeah, it's gonna. I mean, it could be really good. It could be really, really good. And finally, we'll start seeing the alien invasion, kind of. Because Marvel isn't just Earth; it is so much bigger. So that's it. Check me out, mgexperience.com. Follow me on Twitter, @ChicagoFan. And yeah, that's it. If you haven't seen Avengers, go out and see it now. Peace.